right. And like I said, over in the chat should be the presentation link for today. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to that presentation now. And you should start being able to see my screen. Mr. Isley, can you see my screen? Excellent. So very first thing, before our meeting, we did suggest that you go do the self-paced version of GoGuardian. GoGuardian is our new program, of course, like I said, that monitors the students. If you haven't done it, it's okay. It was a suggestion out there. And if there's anything that you missed today and you're like, oh my goodness, what did Nora say about that? You can always go back to this self-paced course and you would just click right here on this link. And then the training is going to come up and look like this. It says GoGuardian Teacher Training Course. And there's a video for every single one on that teacher training course. So like I said, if you missed something for today, don't worry about it. There's an online course that you can take as well. Are there any questions about that online course? Like I said, it's always there as a resource for you. And we're going to talk a little bit about that at the end as well. Okay, we'll move on. Then, of course, with this also, you can get a certificate. GoGuardian will give you a certificate saying that you graduated from their course. And this was just a little certificate. If you care anything about that, of course, you can go take those certificates and grab those if you would like. Like I said, welcome. Today I do have some assistance from the IT department, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I am Nora Beasley, the digital learning coach on the west side. Currently, we don't have a digital learning coach on the east side, but we're working on that process. But I think I have Derek and Brian with me today from the IT department just to assist me if there's any questions that I can't answer for you. And of course, these are just our PD norms. Every time we meet, please be on time. You ladies were. Actually, we started a little bit late. And then, of course, any of these technology models that we give you, we don't want you to just sit and get those models. We want you to take it after this training and go implement that into your classroom. And we always relate these to the digital learning competency standards from the state so that you can get DLC credits for this meeting. And then I saw this just for fun. When you go to a presentation and the presentator and the guy or the girl, they read the entire thing and then they tell you that's how you're supposed to teach. And I thought that this was hilarious because that would probably be my face. Like, really? Like, you sat there and read from the entire PowerPoint, but that's how I'm supposed to go back and be a good teacher. So it was just to make you smile. Hopefully it did. And feel free to use it if you would like. So. All right, and then a couple things coming up. I just want to remind you that this week is Digital Citizenship Week. If your school's not doing anything else other than just making the morning announcement every day with a digital citizenship word, they definitely should be doing that just this week. And it's just a week to be mindful of what's going on with our students being online. I know it's also Bully Prevention Week, but the good thing about that is, of course, digital citizenship goes hand in hand because we don't want the kids to be bullies online either. So they walk hand in hand. And if you missed the meeting today, you can tell anybody that if they want to come tomorrow, they're more than welcome to come. On the 27th, we're going to have a What's Your Question Wednesday, and that will probably also be with me and someone from the IT department. If it's just 1 hour from 3 to 4 o'clock, we will not be recording that meeting because that meeting is basically just to answer any questions that you may have about technology or something going on in your classroom. If you want to come to that, that is completely optional. And then on the 28th, we're going to do a Throwback Thursday for Triple E. I know we've talked about Triple E many, many times, but if you would love to come to that session, we would love to have you just as a refresher. Are there any questions about any of the upcoming dates? Okay, I'll roll on. And this was about the What's Your Question Wednesday. And like I said, it's not going to be recorded. It's going to be very informal. You can pop in anytime on the 27th between 3 and 4:30. Between 3 and 4 o'clock. Let me don't add that 4:30 in there. But 3 and 4 o'clock, and just ask any kind of question that you might have about technology, a resource that you're using. And you may have a question that someone else in our group has as well. So please join us. All right, what is GoGuardian? Well, I've already kind of mentioned that. GoGuardian is our new system that monitors what the kids do on their computer. It's a lot like what we have with Impero, but I'm crossing my fingers over here. Hopefully, GoGuardian is going to work 10 times better. And in just a few minutes, I think that you're going to see that you like it. And I think that you're going to see it's a wonderful resource. And it's got lots of features that we wished that Impero had, but it didn't have. And some reports that you can print off for your students to show their parents what they've been doing online. And I think that it gives the teachers a lot more control. And I think that you're really going to like the program. All right, so to sign in to GoGuardian, and this is where I really would like for you to pay attention, because right here, you're going to click on this link, and you can do it right now, or you can stay with us and then come back and do this later. That's completely up to you. If you can multitask and you can put it on another tab and you want to go sign in and go along with us, that's fine with me. Or you can stay with us and come back and look at it later. That's up to you. But all you've got to do is go to GoGuardian.com, GoGuardian.com, and make sure you log in with Google. I'm going to say that one more time. Make sure you log in with Google. And that's your Montgomery County School Google account. So I know a lot of us have our personal Gmail accounts linked to our computers, but make sure it is that Montgomery County School account. Are there any questions about where we go to log in? Okay. And there is a video right here on how to sign in if you missed this information and you would like to go back. And someone was even telling me it should be linked through Clever. I haven't went in and done that, but I think that that's what Susie's telling you in this video. And I didn't want to play the video unless y'all want to watch the video. I think that we're good, so we'll keep it rolling. And why is this important? GoGuardian is very important. This is a very important note, and this came straight from the principal's meeting. And it said, basically, this is a monitoring system that we are monitoring our student devices. But it said you should only be monitoring during school hours. Now, apparently, and Brian, Mr. Helms may want to chime in on this too. Apparently, there were some issues in the past where teachers were watching what the kids were doing on the weekends or at night, and we can't do that. We can only monitor what they're doing on their computers during school hours. Mr. Helms, did you want to say anything about that, sir?
No, I don't have any direct knowledge of that, only what I've been told has happened in the past.
Okay. So like I said, it's just something that we can't do. We can only watch them when they're with us. So, all right. Oh, let me go back to that just one second. But that doesn't mean that, like, if you saw something, you couldn't inform the parent. But I think what it means is, like, we can't take action on what they're doing at home at night. Is that your understanding, Mr. Isley? Yes. But of course, we could tell the parents, like, hey, your baby was up at 3:00 in the morning on Go Math. You might want to, but we can't control what they do at their house. All right, classrooms. Now, this is where in the presentation, it goes through each of these, but what I would really like to do is actually go into the program. So I'm going to come out of the presentation, if that's okay with you guys, and I'm actually going to go into my account and show you what it looks like. So my account's a little bit different. When you go in, you may already see your classrooms populated, and that's because you have classes in Power School. I do not. I'm not, just a classroom teacher. But what I did is I set up a test class, and I think that you actually have the power to do that as well. Now, but you just got to be very, very careful about the students that you're monitoring. Make sure that they are your students. But I went over here and added a class, and I added the kids based on their email address. And so I added a test class so that I could show you for this meeting. So this is all in the Classrooms tab over here in the Classrooms. And I'm going to start the session or start the class. And on right here, I did go ahead and turn the chat on. Okay. And this may take a few minutes because I am recording and I am doing this, but you can see these two wonderful star students in this class. And if anybody knows me, they know who these star students are. They're my children. I always use them as examples. I log into their stuff all the time. But I can see that these star students are on there. Now, a couple things that you may want to do on this screen. Like I said, you can already see right now, Amaya is on the bus, so she is not on her computer. Caroline is sitting right across from me, and look at that. She is working on some kind of cookies thing. What? And I could click on it, and I could see, what in the world is she doing? This is the middle of math class. Why is she on some kind of $1 billion cookie thing? And I want to show you something really cool. I can go over here to close. Caroline Beasley, don't be doing that in my class. And it closes that tab for her. And it took her right back to her Google screen. Isn't that kind of cool? Also, I like this right here at the top. If you'll see at the top of mine, it says I can turn the chat on. And I can also turn on off task alerts. So if we're in the middle, so I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to show you what. So I turn off task alerts on. And if there's something, if she seems to be getting off to task in class, it will send me an alert and let me know that she's off task, which I thought was really cool. And also, like I said, you can chat with a student. If you look over here on timelines, it tells me the timeline of this meeting and what they were doing during that time. It will also do some screenshots if there are things in question that need to be screened, that they need to have a screenshot for. I can also do call a student. Like while I'm in here, say for example that I was at the county office at a meeting and my students were in class and I noticed that Caroline was playing that cookie game, and I could sit on there and I could start a voice call with her if I wanted to. I don't know if it may not let me do it because I'm doing this, but I can start a voice call with her. And I could say, hey, Caroline, I'm at the county office at a meeting, but I'm noticing that you are online and doing something inappropriate with your computer. So I'm going to go back to screens. If there are any questions about this section of GoGuardian, it looks a lot like, when you can see these screens right here, it looks a lot like our Impero system that we used to have. But I'll do, like I said, I like that chat feature, and I like that whenever I pull it up, I can close those tabs. Like right now, I could go in there and I could close that tab on her computer, and now it should take back to her regular screen. What is she doing? Oh, there, that was where I tried to chat with her. Are there any questions about this part, the classroom section of GoGuardian? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. The next one is scenes. Scenes is where you're really, really going to want to watch this. Miss Person, I really want to make sure that if you show this to your husband. So I'm going to click on scenes, and you see there are two different lists. There's a loud website list, and there's a blocked website list. So you can go in here and actually create a list like during a certain time period that your kids, so if I click on allow, I'll create a list, and I can put the time period, I can write a description, and I can put the whatever website is actually allowed during that time. So during this 45-minute part of this test. Or I can go in here and block a website. So if I notice that I'm in the middle of my class and everybody's on Go Math, and it's like, what in the world are they doing? Why won't they get off Go Math? I can go create a block list, and they can't get on during that period of time. Now, I think, and I'm pretty sure that you can copy and paste into this list too. So if you have a list of things that they're always going to, and you're like, oh my goodness, I wish they would really get off of X, Y, and Z. Or between 8 and 9 o'clock, I only want them to be able to work on iReady. Right here in scenes is where you're going to want to do that. Are there any questions about this section? That was my favorite part. It really is my favorite part. Now, calendar didn't seem very helpful to me. That's the next section over here. Calendar, you will see that it's already marked off that they can't, you can't monitor them on Saturday and Sunday, which is fine. Okay, we don't want to monitor them on Saturday, Sunday anyway. I didn't really see anything in this section that I would probably use as a teacher. It just didn't seem like it was very appealing to me. But the next part, the student report section, that you might actually need to use. I might need to go in sometime when, just say I'm having parent conferences with Amaya Jones's mother. And between this period and this period, I want to go back for 30 days. And I want to review the report. And it will generate the report. And you'll see in just a few minutes. If it doesn't, oh, there it goes. And I can sit down with Amaya's parents or whoever. I can use my own kids as an example. And I can say, you know what? So Amaya has spent this. These were the top 5 websites that she goes to. These were her top 5 Google searches. These were the top 5 documents that she's been working on. And as you can see, she was on task. Or you can say, as you can see, he wasn't on task. And there's also prints that we can reports that we can print. And I think you can email this report if you'll see that at the very top. So if you ever needed that documentation for a parent, say, hey, your kid was not on task today. Are there any questions about reports? Okay. All right. And then the next section that I really like down here is the help. And if you'll notice, they do offer a lot of help. They offer training videos. They offer their other ones. And there's also an 800 number. There's an 800 number. I may have it in my presentation, so I'll go back to that in just a second. The GoGuardian has tons of help that they're willing to offer us. Okay. And I'm going to go into this classroom, and I'm going to stop this session in the session. And then I want to go back to my presentation. All right. Are y'all still with me? Let me go to your faces so I can see that you're still with me. All right. Can I see your faces? You're still with me? Yay! You're still with me. Yes, I'm so glad. Oh, there you are, Mr. Person. I didn't realize you were with me. All right. So I'm going to put back over in the chat one more time. I'm going to put the sign-in link, and I'm going to put the presentation link, and I'm going to go back to the presentation if that's good with y'all, okay? And remember, we are recording this today, so if you missed it or if you came in late, no worries.
Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. I've been here since almost the beginning, so I've already done that.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Miss Swanky, how can I help you, ma'am? I'm going to go back to the presentation while we're waiting. I think maybe your sound might be off. So I'll go back to that. And I'm going to stay here for a minute too. I'm not leaving you anytime soon, so don't panic. So going back to the presentation, I want to remind you one more time, and I know that this is, I'm not trying to be redundant by any means, but I just want to remind you that you cannot monitor students. You can only monitor them during normal school hours. I know that like when we were all out for COVID and we were at home, I know that I remember particularly the issue that came up, and teachers were monitoring students when they were, not during school hours, and we just can't do that. So, I mean, like I said, you can tell the parents, sweet baby was up at 3:00 in the morning, but that was the point. They told me to drive home, and I drove it home twice, and I'm done with that. So, all right. Oh, the help section. So if you will go in, there is a help section, and you can chat with them live Monday through Friday. You can also put in a request, and then there's also a place that you can call them and leave a voicemail, and they will call you back. Mr. Helms and I have already had to deal with this company, and they are very good about calling you back. They're very good about answering emails. So hopefully this system will be a whole lot better than Impero that we had, where we couldn't get anybody online to support us with it. And then, of course, there are some new features on this. Of course, we've never used it before. If you want to come back later on and you want to look at these new features, but like I said, we've never had this anyway, so we don't know what the old features were, but I did throw that in there just in case you needed it. Oh, and I won't make you watch it. I know it's boring to watch a video while you're talking to somebody. And then there's video conferencing as well. And I showed you that feature kind of whenever I was on there with Caroline just a few minutes ago. I could call her from say I was at the county office, and I could say, Caroline, hello, ma'am. Or I could just have a conference with her, say that, she was out with, unfortunately being quarantined or something like that. I can also use the video conferencing features, to call her. And it seems like the other day, I may need to check with Mr. Helms. I could do the voice call, but I couldn't do the video call for part where I could actually see her. But we have other things too. We have, we have Google Meets. We also have Teams. We have other ways of doing that, but this does offer that as well. Nope. It plays the video for me anyway. And of course, when we did the training several months back, there was a recording of that training. If you think that might be more helpful to you, you're more than welcome to. There's the link when we had the actual trainer from the company. If you ever want to go back and watch that, you're more than welcome to do it. It's right there. That was the first training that we ever had with them. And then they have GoGuardian University, which is really, really cool. And that's where that course was that I showed you at the very beginning. They have their own little university where you can walk through there and you can do all the teacher stuff. You can do the admin stuff if you would like. Any kind of training that you would ever need for GoGuardian is right there in their training portal. And we did go in, Mr. Helms went in and made sure that all those links were unblocked. So everything should be good to go. If you ever want more than just this, you need to know more about GoGuardian. And then here's some other resources. There's a new teacher overview. And then there's my completion form one more time, if you'll make sure that you have signed in for me. And then, like I said, it is Digital Citizenship Week, and I want to make sure we tell, our IT guys, thank you for all that they do to keep our kids safe. One other thing I did, some of you will be seeing this in your teacher mailbox. There's a little card. It's a getting started with GoGuardian sheet. I haven't had a chance to make it over there too. It's at the high school. Yes. Thank you, Swanky. I appreciate it. At the schools that I've already been to, I've given them this. It's probably in your teacher mailbox. Miss Lowe, I didn't have a chance to leave this at MLA on Monday because we had a meeting, but I certainly will come around and put these in your mailbox. Or if you need a copy of this, I can always email it to you. It's just a cool little quick start guide to GoGuardian. I think that once you get in there and you start playing with it, I think that you're really, really going to like it. But now this is the only thing that I have a question about is I wonder if it's a lot like what we had before with Impero. Like if I have locked a kid out of a program and they leave my class and they go to Mr. Person's class and he requires that program, they may, from what I've seen, if he didn't end his session, they may have to go back and end their session. Now, that's the one question I have that I know so far that I'm trying to find some answers to. Mr. Helms may already know that answer. And we'll stick on here for a little while, but that's all I had for this system. And I was more than welcome to stick here as long as you would like to answer your questions.
For the session that you said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even raise my hand.
No, you don't have to raise your hand. Come on.
For the, I thought somebody else was talking. For the session that you said that we can block the sites. So we can, do I have to block, or can I just tell them, stay here on Canvas taking the test?
I think, and now this is from my understanding. Of course, I don't have kids to practice this with, but I think that you can go in there and add it to just that list that they can only go to. Let me go back to it. So I'm going to scenes, allowed websites. Hold on, let me show you let me share my screen so you can see. Now, this is my understanding. And like I said, I want you to try it in your classroom because I don't have the kids to practice with. You guys do. But this is my understanding that this part works. Right here, allowed websites. Students can only access websites on the allowed list. Everything else will be blocked. That is my understanding. So like if you, during your class, you only wanted them to go to Nearpod and you only wanted them to go to iReady and you only wanted them to go to that, then you would create a list for that. That is my understanding. And I hope that that part works. You remember they were talking about scenes in Impero. We were always hoping that this part would work, and it never did. So I really would like for you to try it, Miss Person, and let me know. I know Miss Jones over at Page Street has tried it, and it seems like she had success with it. So did you have something else, Miss Person? I'm sorry. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just trying to see. I can't find it, but I'll play with it. Like
Okay.
a way to organize my class because I see both semesters, both of my classes, the 6 classes that I have. I would like to put on the top just the 3, 4 right now.
I understand.
I'll play with that.
Yeah. And so that's a good thing. Like I said, those classes have already imported from you from Power Schools. But yeah, it's kind of like Canvas. You know, when they import, they go all over the place and it's probably everything. So Miss Swanky, did you ever have your question, ma'am? Because it had your hand raised. I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Did she leave me? She didn't want me calling her out. I'm sorry. I wasn't calling her out. And if we'll stay on here, we have Derek Isley with us, and we have Brian Helms from the technology department. If there's any other things any questions you have about this, please feel free to ask us. Now would be the time. We'd love to answer them.
So here's my question, and I know I sound crazy. I don't have any students, so am I going to find anybody to look at?
You're not going to have any students because if you don't have any students that are related to you in Power School, you're not. But now let me show you what you can do. You could go in there and like me and add a test class. Would you like for me to walk you through that process?
What would I do with a test class?
Well, or
So,
do you have kids that you need to even watch? I don't know.
well, only if Mr. Person brings his class into the library and then leaves me alone with his class of hooligans.
Mr. Persons didn't even make any kind of look on that.
Hey, I didn't even get any reaction at all there.
You did.
Come on, Mr.
I was just going to
Person.
tell her I'd send her some of my students over, and
But so basically you're saying I can't really look at anybody, which is fine. I just wanted to know.
No, I'll share some of mine with you.
I did see
Richard?
something. I did see something where it said that you could add someone in, like almost like a co-teacher in your class. But now I don't know how to do that, but we can try to figure it out. Like Mr. Person, like you might be able to go to a class. I saw that somewhere in the training, and I'll tell you what, I'll make myself a note to see.
Yeah, because for the same question applies to Ms. De La Torre.
Mhm.
Because since she doesn't have the Power School access, then how can she monitor those kids? Then?
I understand. So we may have to actually, with hers, we may have to make her classes. Let me show you that real quick because we may have to make her classes because she's not going to have anything power, and she may not even have one of these accounts. She may not
She
even
can log into her school email.
Yeah, but I need to see. She may need, whenever she goes into GoGuardian, she may not have a GoGuardian account though. We may have to get with Mr. Helms and get her a GoGuardian account. But I'll show you how I did that. Like I said, how I added my own kids. Sharon, if you ever want to maybe do this, I don't know. So when I was on that classroom page, I just went over here to add a classroom, and then I could add them. Let's see, test 2. And then I'm just gonna make it math. I mean to scroll down just a little bit. Nope. It would I can't get to the bottom part of the screen right now because I'm on this. Oh, there it goes. So I can add them in with their email addresses. Does that make sense? And so we probably, Ms. Person, could get a whole list of emails that are in her class and put those in like that if we need to. So maybe a project, but we can try to figure it out.
Super. I was just kind of being nosy to see what kind of use I might get out of this, and the answer is probably not much.
No, you may not, unless I can figure out this co-teacher thing, and I will find out if we can do that. Like I said, if he leaves this class with you, can he make you a co-teacher? It seems like I saw something about that, but I need to do more research because this is a new program.
Thank you, Ms. Beasley.
Yes, ma'am.
So Nora, I just tried to sign in and it won't let me sign in either.
So you don't have an account at all?
Nope.
Okay, so I wonder if special teachers have one at all. So that may be something that we have to get with Mr. Helms and see. But do you have kids that are assigned to you in Power School, correct?
No.
Oh, so that's why you probably won't. You probably won't. So, okay, well, thank you for coming to a training, sorry. But, like if you're ever with a teacher, let's find out about this co-teacher thing because that may work for specials.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I've got to go do some more research on that, and I've got it on my little to-do list right here. So, all right, were there any other questions, Mr. Helm? Did you have any advice on any of that? Mr. Isley, did you have any advice on any of that?
No.
He's shaking his head. He's like, "Why did you make me come to this meeting, Nora?" I pulled his arm, like, "Come, please." Especially now that I don't have Susie, But if there are any other questions, we would be happy to stick around for a few minutes. If otherwise, thank you for coming. Make sure you've signed in. I'll sit here for a few minutes.
She raised her hand.
So was there a hand raised somewhere? I'm going to turn off the record. And we can just keep on talking as long as y'all want. It's fine with me.
She was saying goodbye.
Oh, bye. Bye, Miss Lowe.